Long ago, in a quiet monastery nestled in the mountains of India, there lived a young monk named Ananda. He was intelligent, diligent, and deeply devoted to the teachings of the Buddha. However, he had one great weakness. His mind was always restless. Ananda would constantly analyze every situation, worry about the future, and regret past mistakes. His thoughts never stopped, like a river that never found rest. Even during meditation, his mind raced with endless questions. Am I meditating the right way? What if I never attain enlightenment? Did I make a mistake in my previous life that is keeping me from peace? No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't quiet his thoughts. He envied the senior monks who sat in deep meditation with serene faces, untouched by the storms of overthinking. One day, feeling exhausted by his own mind, Ananda decided to seek the guidance of the Buddha himself. Ananda approached the Buddha, who was sitting under a Bodhi tree, surrounded by his disciples. His face was calm, his presence like the stillness of a peaceful lake. "Venerable Buddha," Ananda said, bowing deeply, "I seek your wisdom. My mind is like a monkey, jumping from thought to thought. No matter how much I meditate, I cannot stop overthinking. It drains my energy and fills me with doubt. Please, show me the path to peace." The Buddha smiled gently and gestured for Ananda to sit. The other monks listened in silence, eager to hear the Buddha's response. The Buddha picked up a clay cup filled with water and held it in front of Ananda. "Tell me, Ananda," he said, "if I keep pouring water into this cup, what will happen?" Ananda looked at the cup and replied, "It will overflow, Master." The Buddha nodded. "Exactly. Your mind is like this cup, filled with endless thoughts. When you allow more and more thoughts to pour in, your mind overflows with worries, regrets, and confusion. This is why you feel restless." Ananda listened carefully, beginning to understand. The Buddha continued, "Overthinking is like trying to carry water in a leaky pot. No matter how much you collect, it will always drain away. Similarly, no matter how much you analyze, worry, or plan, your thoughts will never be fully satisfied. The mind, like the ocean, has no end to its waves." Ananda lowered his gaze. "But how do I stop overthinking, Master? How can I find peace?" The Buddha picked up a handful of sand and held it tightly in his fist. "Look at this, Ananda," he said. "If I squeeze this sand tightly, what will happen?" Ananda observed the grains slipping through Buddha's fingers. "The tighter you hold, the more it escapes," he answered. The Buddha then relaxed his hand, letting the sand rest on his palm. "But if I keep my hand open, the sand stays." Ananda's eyes widened in realization. The Buddha smiled. "Your thoughts are like this sand. The more you hold on to them, the more they slip away, leaving you with frustration. But if you let them come and go, without clinging to them, they will no longer have power over you." The Buddha then pointed to a gently flowing river nearby. "Look at that river, Ananda. It does not fight the current, nor does it stop the flow. It moves naturally. Thoughts are the same. When you stop resisting them, they lose their control over you." "But how do I let go?" Ananda asked. The Buddha smiled and spoke in a calm voice. "First, recognize that thoughts are just thoughts. They are not reality. A cloud may cover the sun, but it does not mean the sun has disappeared. Similarly, thoughts may cloud your mind, but your true self remains untouched beneath them. Second, do not judge your thoughts. Do not call them good or bad, useful or useless. Simply observe them like a traveler watching birds fly across the sky. Third, return to the present moment. Overthinking happens when your mind lives in the past or the future. But peace is only found in the present. Focus on your breath, the sensation of your body, or the sound of the wind. This will bring your mind back to now. Ananda took a deep breath, absorbing the wisdom. The Buddha then gave Ananda a challenge. For the next 7 days, practice observing your thoughts without engaging with them. When you catch yourself overthinking, gently return to your breath. Ananda accepted the challenge and began his practice. At first, his mind continued to wander, but he patiently brought it back each time. Slowly, he noticed that his thoughts had less control over him. The worries that once consumed him no longer felt so important. By the end of the 7th day, he sat in meditation under the same Bodhi tree. For the first time, his mind felt like a calm lake, undisturbed by passing winds. He returned to the Buddha and bowed deeply. Master, I now understand. Overthinking is like a thief that steals the peace of the present moment. By letting go, I have found freedom. The Buddha smiled. Very good, Ananda. Remember, peace is not something you chase. It is something you allow. From that day on, Ananda no longer let his mind control him. He lived with awareness, accepting each moment as it came. His restlessness faded, and in its place, he found a deep, unshakable peace. Overthinking is like a never-ending storm, but peace is always within you. The key is to let thoughts come and go without attaching to them. Be present, observe without judgment, and trust the flow of life. When you stop clinging, you will find the stillness you seek. And as the Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment.